Hello, my name is Esther Patt. I've come here also to speak in support of the Hope Village. I imagine you either read the newspapers or watching TV news and caught the headlines of this weekend's news that homelessness is at an all-time high in the United States. In the last 12 months, the number of homeless people has increased 12%. Rising rents are the main cause of it, which has always been the cause of homelessness. The Secretary of the Department of Housing and Urban Development said the data underscore an urgent need to support proven solutions that help people quickly exit homelessness and to prevent homelessness in the first place. Hope Village is one of those solutions. There's also a very, very critical need in our community for wheelchair accessible housing. Actually, just for wheelchair accessible housing to start with, and that is affordable. Even though it's now been 32 years since federal law has required that all new multifamily housing include wheelchair accessible units on the first floor, there is no law that requires landlords to hold those units open for people with disabilities. Most of those apartments are still too expensive for lower income people, and as I'm sure you've noticed, most of the new construction of multifamily housing has been in the campus area where apartments lease out 10 to 11 months before lease start date. So the chance of people with disabilities getting into housing, that the few units that are available for people with disabilities, the chances are very poor. And there are still, to this day, people under the age of 40 living in nursing homes because once they are disabled and in the home and they don't need nursing home treatment anymore, they can't be released until they have an address and they cannot find an affordable place to live. It's a terrible thing. Even more terrible is the fact that I've lived in this community 50 years, and every single effort to provide housing for homeless people has been met with bigotry. The completely irrational belief that once a person becomes homeless, they become bad and they will be lousy neighbors. Please do not let that attitude drive your decision making. I served on the city council with Maria Ryan when the homestead apartments were built 28 years ago. A small handful of people in the downtown neighborhood formed the Downtown Neighborhood Association for the purpose of, initially, of combating this outrage that the city of Urbana was going to dump, and this is the language they use, dump 35 homeless people in the neighborhood who they would have to take care of. I tried very nicely to explain to people, you don't have to take care of anyone. All you have to do is don't object, and the program will take care of them. Tried pointing out that they will not be homeless people. This is going to be a 35-unit apartment building. Once they have apartments, they aren't homeless anymore. But logic does not stand up to bigotry, never. It tries, but it doesn't succeed. The good news, as Maria told you and Danielle Chenoweth told you, the happy ending of the Homestead Corporation story is that for a quarter of a century now, we have had that housing. All but one of the people who complained to us approached council members within the first year after that apartment building filled to tell us they were sorry, that we were right and they were wrong because nothing bad has ever happened. And y'all know it's just an apartment building on Grigg Street. But one bad thing did happen, and that was because of the neighbors' protests, then Mayor Satterthwaite cut the project back from 35 units to 25 units. And every single time I read any reports from the city or something in the paper about the count of how many people are homeless on any one night in Urbana or in Champaign County, every night for the last quarter century and every night for the next quarter century, whatever that number is, it is 10 more people who are homeless than would have been if the city had not responded to protesters who were wrong, who were just afraid of something that wasn't real and that never materialized. And I don't mean to insult, I see the names of some of the people from the Carver Park neighborhood. These are people I know and who have done good things for years, but I guarantee you if you just ignore their complaints that medically fragile people are going to be a burden on their society and their community, I beg you, you will see that, all right, if you will ignore these Champaign residents' insistence that you develop nothing north of them, because I'm telling you, there's nothing lower density you will ever come up with, that anyone could come up with, than what this is. And if they don't want that, you just need to say, just do it, and they will see, I guarantee you, that every one of them will see exactly what the people in the Downtown Neighborhood Association saw, was that their objection was not, it had no basis. Thank you very much.
input and reminder, if we could please keep comments on the issues and not about others' comments or towards other members of the audience.